Hello, everyone. I just wanted to take a moment to say happy 4th of July to you all. Happy Independence Day. It's weird because, 4th of July, like every other holiday, has always kind of been one of those, these holidays become almost normalized to the point where you lose the meaning of them. And, I'm sitting here thinking about Independence Day, 4th of July, and I'm not going to go into the history of it because I think we all know the history of it, but I kind of want to go into the present meaning and value for me today. Because there's a lot of anti American rhetoric that is going around in this country, and it is on level 100, and it's scary. And when I think about independence, I don't think about communism. Happy 4th of July, Tony. I'm just kind of reflecting on this day because, I feel like for the first time, when you look at freedoms and liberties and all of those things that we are supposed to value, and all of those things that, many individuals, have fought to achieve in this country, and then to just have the rhetoric that we have today, it really helps you to appreciate this day a lot more, because, I'm going to get off this stream. I'm going to get up, get my clothes on, get ready for the day, go hang with my people, celebrate our family, celebrate our independence, to be able to just do that, have the freedom to be able to get up and go, create content, say your opinion. I think that's why 4th of July for me is just so much more meaningful. And I think I'm challenging people to really think about, what this day would mean if we didn't have freedom, if we didn't have independence. Think about that. If America did not have some level of independence, freedoms, and liberties, how would any of us function or view this country? I think a lot of us are buying into rhetoric that we really just don't know a lot about. And a lot of people are trying to convince us of this socialist type rhetoric, which really requires for us to hate America for it to go down. You think about it, when you think about any Marxist ideology, that chaos before opportunity, destruction for opportunity, highly demonic ideas, that's that tells you a lot about what an agenda like this will ultimately mean for America. And it really means that we can't enjoy a day like this, the way that we enjoy it now. And I think that people need to start thinking about that. And on the lines of thinking, I want to go back. I posted this poll on LinkedIn, and I challenge people to critically think, right? So if you engage with my content, you have to be open to critically think and to be able to absorb the point of view that I am projecting, and see how it aligns or disagrees with your own point of view, be able to make an intelligent rebuttal as to why you agree or disagree. We rock over here, you know, and this is across platforms. Here go the devil and the demons messing with my internet, and I got a booster. It's like, what is the point in buying all these extra little additives if they're not going to work? Seriously. I'm not sure. There we go. It's back on. Thank you, God, because I ain't giving the devil no kind of credit. But, I thought it was interesting because I posted this poll, and I'm asking people, which is the most important for people to have these days? Faith in God, better government, access to opportunities, or a sense of individualism? Your your streams have been better recently, though. Cool. I mean, I bought this booster, and it took forever for me to figure out how to set it up, but it's good. So thank you, Tony. But to me, I find that when people, and this is what's really alarming to me, and I'm pretty sure that the devil and his demons are about to shut my stream off because I want to make this point. Therapists and psychologists have failed people in society. They have. And they're going to probably start chopping me up so that people aren't hyper aware of this. Therapists and psychologists have failed people in society. And I'm one of those people. I step back and I live my life right now through the scientific method of observation. Observation. So anything that I say is based off of something that I can tie back to an observation that I have had. All right. So what I thought was very every time I talk about Baphomets, I jinxed you apparently. You did. I'm telling you, every time I talk about Baphomets or therapists in society, they kick me out because their algorithms are going nuts because they don't want people to know that they've been lied to. So y'all need to stop it, algorithm demons. I already see how y'all working. Every time I mention Baphomets or therapists failing people in society, you kick me out of my stream because you want people sitting up here lied to. Lied to. So getting back, my content is about challenging people to critically think, which obviously these operatives and academics and so-called professionals with credentials don't want you doing because they want you in your feelings. All right. I'm not trying to get in your feelings. So I ask people, which is the most important for people to have these days? Faith in God, better government, access to more opportunities, or a sense of individualism. Now, this really, I do make my options very, very tough for people to choose from so that it forces them to think. Now, let's see what this therapist. Now, this is a licensed mobile therapist, and this is what she had to say about the poll options. And this is where I say, you know what? Society is not doing right by people. We're not doing right by people at all. This therapist, licensed mobile now she's a massage therapist, so I'm not going to give her the mental health. But she goes, these topics in the polls are very controversial. It makes people really have to think. It makes people really have to think. And that causes more and more people to disagree. Why can't we just vote and see what people are thinking about pushing without pushing our agendas? And I said, why can't we just push people to think? What is wrong with people? And you are a therapist and you don't want people thinking these days? Are you afraid? What are you afraid of? You might lose your job? What is your agenda? Isn't it your job to make people think? The only agenda here is my own, and that is why you are here participating in it. All the while complaining, everything is a choice. Stop crying about the choices that you have to make and think about. You may need some help with that. And I hold strong to that. If you are somebody in the therapy game, whatever, and you are in the business of helping people, and we understand that you need to make money. We understand that you need to profit from people's problems. But what I don't understand is why therapists are so in their feelings about another person challenging another person to critically think. Happy 4th of July to you, Marshall. We're talking about just random topics right now, and I just got this response from this therapist. And, I feel like the way that people think these days is not independent. I hope people really take some time back for themselves this day and not only embrace the idea of living in a country that hopefully seemingly is independent. I feel like we are more communist than people want to accept. When I look at America, I look at the reoccurring patterns of this country. I feel like we are more communist than Americans realize because we have been distracted. We have been very, very distracted. We are, when people are like, we're not going to be a communist country. It's already been sprinkled in, honey. We got to control it at this point. But it's already in. Communism is here in America, and it's been here for quite some time. And I think that people need to start acknowledging that, and also acknowledging why a lot of these psychological mind games that they are playing with Americans right now is due to a lot of these communistic-like agendas that they are forcing down our throats. So it's interesting to me that these people in the mental health care industry, they don't want people critically thinking. They literally want somebody to think for them. I mean, that's the type of people, or I'm sorry, they want people that they can think for. So instead of walking you, because if I was your therapist, I'll tell you straight up, we gonna get you right. We're going to get you right in probably about 3 sessions. And if we don't get you right in 3 sessions, I'm washing my hands clean of you. Bye. Go to the people that will profit off of you being married and addicted to your problems. Because at some point, people are going to have to figure out an end to the things that they are addicted to. I cannot be addicted to slavery for all of my life. I cannot. I never experienced it. My mother never experienced it. Getting right doesn't make money. You know what? For some people, like, let me tell you, if you are a strategic individual, you're going to make money. I look at a lot of people making complaints about America, about the capitalist system is America. And what kills me is people let me know where your arguments are. Are you saying that there are not enough opportunities for blacks, or are you saying that black people are not able to create their own opportunities? Because I challenge a lot of these arguments when I see blacks creating opportunities all the time, profiting, getting buy-in. So I don't find, to me, when you try to make an argument definitive, you need to really make sure that there are not any anomalies or any one-offs to your argument that can make your argument illegitimate. I personally feel that, getting right is a mindset. It's definitely a mindset first. Only the strong survive in any competitive climate. And we live in a highly competitive world. And if you are so sucked in and distracted that you don't recognize that, you are going to continue to be behind. And that will be your own fault because the information is out there. And in the age of information, ignorance is a choice. Trump was never meant to get elected, so the establishment went all out to make sure that the attention is not on them. Oh, yeah. I tell people, Donald Trump shook the establishment. And I'm glad you mentioned Trump. And I'm going to get to you too, Tiff. They want people to stay in their feelings instead of moving on. Yeah, because it's profitable. Feelings are profitable. That's why racism and appealing to people's feelings and emotions for agendas is actually very profitable. Racism is a business, and it's been a business for a long damn time. And I think people need to start calling it for what it is. Racism is a business. And whether you are a race hustler on either one of the side spectrum, you are participating in the business of racism. And that's what it is. That's what it is. Racism is a business. So whether you're Al Sharpton or Candace Owens, because a lot of white people don't like it when I compare Candace Owens to Al Sharpton, but she is the equivalent of Al Sharpton to me on the Republican side. So it don't even matter. Racism is a business, and there are a lot of people, black and white, that are capitalizing off of this business, and people need to be real about that. Racism is a business. Absolutely. It is. It's a profit center business. Okay. And I think that people need to start accepting the fact that as long as this business structure exists, we are going to have the same type of conversations. We're going to have the same type of conversations, no matter who you have face front to talk about these conversations. Because that's all a lot of these people are doing, is talking about these conversations, trying to pretend like they're trying to resolve these conversations, all the while they are doing exactly what they claim they hate, which is being capitalists. Everybody has an inner capitalist, even the ones peddling racism. Better believe that. But I want to talk about Trump for a second, because a lot of Black people, when I'm talking to my people and, those who buy into the fact that Donald Trump was a racist or whatnot, I want to kind of tell you about what I believe the Trump strategy was in 2016. And I think it's important for people to understand what, in my opinion, Donald Trump did in order to build the base that he has. Okay, so Democrats, I think we can all agree that Democrats have historically preyed and exploited disenfranchised Blacks to get an emotional appeal. So whether it's reminding them of their history in this country, rewriting their history as a means to remind them of their history, getting people like Alex Haley to exaggerate history to sell Black people something. Democrats have been very, very crafty in the way that they have been able to target African Americans, especially African Americans of a certain segment, right? So Donald Trump decides to run. And this is where a lot of people skewed Trump, and where the Democrats were able to capitalize on selling the narrative that Donald Trump was a racist. A lot of people, and Black people, refuse to acknowledge this. And I'm going to keep putting it out there until the cows come home, until Black people realize that we are not the only disenfranchised group in this country. Okay? Just like there are disenfranchised Blacks, poverty line Blacks, there are poverty line people of all races. Okay? And what Donald Trump did was he reached out to the poverty line whites, the rural whites, some of them who are tribalized in maybe white supremacy ideas, and he reached out to them. Because Trump realized that no matter how deplorable that even the Republicans thought that base of people were in America, they were still a voting base. They were still Americans who were being impacted by decisions that were happening in American politics. So a lot of people were like, well, Trump is a racist because he brought white supremacists into the voting process. That was pretty much the strategy that I observed. He targeted a group of people that neither Democrats nor Republicans wanted to out to. And that base believed in his vision. And he wasn't selling a white supremacist vision. He was selling a vision for America. Because everybody benefited from Trump policies. I don't care how much the Democrats want to act like we didn't. His policies had a trickle-down effect. Because I know that I felt like my household was doing well under the Trump administration. So I'm not going to play these racism games, this bandwagon rhetoric games. Let's just bring it on home. Trump going out into these rural whites, it was a political strategy, and it worked for him. And he brought people that even Democrats and Republicans did not want to bring into the political process out. The deplorables, according to Hillary Clinton. And you better believe that Liz Cheney and some of these rhino-ass Republicans also viewed that particular base of people as being deplorable. So Trump did what no other president really in a very long time did, where he made all Americans come out to play in the political process. Now, people can say, well, why would he want racist people to be in the political? Well, why would you have disenfranchised Blacks that don't barely know the political process too coming out to play? And black people, and I'm glad Angela Stanton King was on Kwame Brown's show last night, because she reiterated what I have been saying all the time. No disrespect to immigrants, but black people need to be smarter. 40 million people of 330 million people isn't really a big number, when of that 40 million, you only got about 25 million that's eligible to vote. And most of those people aren't even participating in the voting process. Black people need to realize that this immigration focus of the Democrats is a way that they don't have to pay or exploit black people anymore for their votes, because they ain't even going to be worried about doing things for black people, because in their minds, we've done enough for you with all these socialist programs that we have provided for you. So Trump did break chains for a lot of people. He did, because these people were outcasts. Now, and my thing is this: if somebody is racist, that is none of my business. It is absolutely none of my business. As long as you ain't blatantly disrespecting me, your personal views about me is none of my business. And that's why I say racist. America is not a racist country. Do we have racist people who have the malignant racist ideologies that have been passed on to them from generation to generation, just like black people have had racist ideologies passed on from generation to generation? Absolutely. MLK recognized disenfranchised whites. His Poor People's Movement included Appalachian whites. He was assassinated less than a month before that march was scheduled. Of course. And, I've never heard that, but I can definitely believe somebody reaching out to disenfranchised, poverty line whites and other groups would be something that would be a threat. Because these are like the sleeping, ducks that really we don't have to ever worry about these people. Black people need to start realizing that there's demographics in this country that there go the demons. There are demographics. Am I cutting off because I'm getting a little demonic algorithm pause from Google? I'm putting it on Google and YouTube and StreamYard because y'all brands suck. Now I done bought an extender. But black people need to accept the fact that we are not the only disenfranchised group, the only group that is so-called left behind in this country. Just like there are poverty line blacks, there are poverty line whites. And these people also feel like the government don't give a shit about them, all while you don't feel like they don't give a shit about you because you black. And this is that they keep playing with people's minds. Like black people are the only ones that are disenfranchised and who are impacted by government policies and regulations. We act like we are the only small business group that has issues trying to make that come up because we don't have the history of credit to be eligible borrowers in a lot of these systems. They took him out before he could unify the underclass. That's crazy. Yeah, a unified underclass is the biggest threat to the establishment. Because why they are trying to set up these psychologies, people need to start understanding. The 1% is scared. They're scared. That is why they need to keep us all in disarray with each other all the damn time. Because they realize that all you need is that Henry Reardon. How many people are Ayn Rand fans? Anybody who's an Ayn Rand fan? Anybody watch Atlas Shrugged? Atlas Shrugged to me is like the epitome of what's going on right now. If you've ever read Atlas Shrugged, watched the series, Atlas Shrugged is what's going on right now, right? These people are threatened by the underclassmen, and they're threatened by people who are pro the underclassmen. I look at Donald Trump as being the Henry Reardon of that of Atlas Shrugged. Reardon still is good. I don't care how many op-eds and scientists you want to put on Reardon Still and say that Reardon Still isn't good so that you can defamate my brand. The big guys always, I feel like we live in a world where the big guys have been burned out of how to effectively compete. And that's why they're taking out the underdogs that can come, and with the right innovation, they can come in and take the market. They're inhibiting people from innovating because they don't want anybody else saturating taking the market. In my opinion, it seems like there's a lot of people who are burnt out from competing, who are trying to inhibit other people from doing that. And America is the one that back out. Did they take me out? I swear, when you start speaking those hard truths, they just get you out real quick. But America's been held back because we are not breeding innovators. We're dumbing down the education so that we don't breed global innovators, global competitors. That is what's happening. America is not breeding global innovators. We are not breeding global competitors. And to me, somebody has an interest in that happening. And I feel like if we have people in this country that are feeding into that interest, then they are traitors. They are traitors to this nation. They are traitors to the independence of this nation. They took it. Yep. So I just wanted to drop some knowledge on you guys, drop some truth. I don't want to say truth bomb, but just drop some cold facts. Cold facts. I want to say that because everybody's talking about truth bombs. I just want to drop cold facts. Cold facts. You know, when you think about Donald Trump, you know, black people, we need to just go back to what we know. The man was not racist prior to 2016. And even if he had any dealings with some of these old school blacks that are in their feelings about however that business dealing turned out or whatever, black people still jump in our rap songs. So when we look at what Trump did to appeal to an underclass of people who were considered deplorable, I do not feel like that gives him the racist stripes. So it's almost 12. I got to get over to my sisters. Happy Independence Day to you all. Please take a moment to reflect what this day means to you. Make the most of this day. Take it in because, like I said, the way that these socialist Marxists are taking over this country, I don't know if we just gonna even be able to have the freedoms. You know, I'm feeling like 1984. You know, is on the dawn where they just want everybody in the bubble being watched. Our freedoms are gonna be relinquished. We're gonna have thought police and curfews and COVID disease stuff that they're going to keep making diseases to make us sick so we can buy into these vaccines. So protect yourself, enjoy your independence, enjoy your freedoms, understand what your freedoms and your independence mean in America, and compare that to any other place that you could be. Have a wonderful day. Bye.